Okay, morning. Morning. Morning, Noel, Ivan, Farrell. And morning, everyone here. Okay, so I'm still taking my bun while waiting for all of you joining. Wait, I check first. I hope all of you are already having your breakfast. Is my background sound is noisy? Is it is it disturbing? Can you all hear my voice? Sound of fan. Yeah, actually, I am opening the fan here. So is that very disturbing? Can you all hear my voice clearly? Voice clear. But that sound of fan lah is oh, okay lah, but uh, I hope it's not really can disturb the attention. Okay, for today, I will not open my camera. Maybe for about 20 minutes. I'm still waiting for my hair to dry, so I cannot wear any tudung. I think it's okay lah, right? You all don't need to see my face. Maybe some of you are happy. Okay, so wait, I open the, I close the door first. Okay, Wong is here. Good morning, Wong. Okay, so we can start lah. Wait, I record the meeting first. And then share screen. Okay, so you all can see all of the classrooms that I am in. Okay, so not only you all have a lot of classroom, even the lecturer also have a lot of classroom. Okay, so you see here, this is not the archive one. This one is the ongoing. Okay, so we go to your class. Okay, so for today we will discuss our tutorial 2 part 1. 17 in for heaven. It's okay as long as you can answer the questions later. So we have 4 questions. Yeah, so this is 3. So 3 students can answer this. Mm, okay, so for question 1, 3 students will answer. And then questions 2, I may ask 2 students or 3. Oh, you didn't do further. Okay. Okay, so highlight the distinct feature and suggest scenario where spiral is suitable to be adopted. Okay, so okay, so questions 2, there are 11 of you. So this one 3, this one 2, this one 1, 3 to 5. This is 6. So this one it should be 3 lah. Question 2 I will ask 3 students. Okay, 3, 3. So 6, 7. Um, mm, mm. So this one I will ask 4 students. Okay, so I will give a name. Questions number 1 should be uh, okay. We go with the name here lah. Okay, questions 1A Ivan, questions 1B Farah, questions 1C Lim. And then questions number 2, this case study will be Kelvin, Shak, Russell, 3 students. And then questions number 3, Noel alone about the spiral. And then the the rest will answer questions number 4 because it is a case study. So I want to see your answer based on the case study lah. Okay, so clear? Ivan Farah Lim, questions number 1. Kelvin Shock Russell, questions number 2. Noel, questions number 3. And then the rest will answer questions number 4. Okay? Okay. Okay, so if like that, we can go with Ivan. Um, uh, yeah, so this is discuss the scenario that is suitable or useful to adopt. Okay, the questions is 1A. Discuss a scenario that is suitable or useful to adopt the prototyping model. Okay, only one. Ivan. When the requirement is not clear. Only one lah. One A. Only one. Yeah. Wait, okay, so it is correct. Yes, we will use prototype when we are unsure about the requirement from the user, because the user themselves cannot imagine what kind of system that they should have later. But later, when you all found this kind of questions, because it is discuss is not supposed to have only one line of answer lah. Okay, discuss meaning you should, and then it says there's a scenario. Discuss a scenario. Okay, so at least I didn't ask you to create one scenario, but at least you tell about three three um yeah three answer for that questions discuss. Okay, don't only answer using one line of answer lah. Okay, so the other student, do you want to add questions 1A? Okay, Ivan. Okay, so let's see other student answer, because nobody what volunteering, so I will see. Okay, okay, so I want to see Russell answer about this. It is private and confidential, actually. Okay, so Russell answer is quite good. Okay, he says that a scenario that would be suitable or useful to adopt the prototyping model is when the developer are unsure of the human-machine interaction that will take place. Okay, so with a prototype, end user are able to test and experience the prototype, and then obtaining a solid impressions of the system's capability in order to validate requirement and provide feedback for improvement. Okay, so yeah, so this is the how you can answer a questions like this. The questions that asking about discuss a scenario. So you can answer like this. I can. Russell, I copy paste your answer for your friends to as the reference for your friends. Is it okay? Okay, so these are the answer. You can answer like how Russell answer. Okay, so after that, we go with questions number 2. Two, sorry, 1A, 1B. Farrell. Yes, Farrell? It's better if you open the mic lah. Yeah, Farrell?
Should I just pause or just read?
Read lah. Read.
Okay. So my answer for wait, I just pause first and then I read.
Okay.
So my answer for 1B,
Mm.
it is to deliver the core product features at the first phase of um, software version and then
Mm-hmm.
deliver the completed features in the next version. That's all.
Okay. Yes. Okay, so your answer is 6 lah for incremental process. Yes, we will deliver the core function of the system as the first version first. After that, we will slowly increment the core function with another low priority functions um, for the next versions of the system later. Okay, so hardware. Yes, so the questions is okay. Yes, correct. Okay, so Farah answer is correct. After that, we proceed to 1C. 1C Lim. 1C Lim. Can you speak, Lim? Oh, because your answer is not fully pasted. Okay, yeah, yes, it's more flexible in the way that. Okay, so please speak, yeah, Lim.
by many IT professionals because it has advantages which can
Yes.
be considered the best to apply to the current software industry.
I cannot hear your voice clearly.
For example, every
Oh.
industry tends to minimize their risk approach to everything such as obsolete or inapplicable business strategy, bankruptcy, aggressive competitor, inflation, and also the risk of applying new software. By applying incremental process, the risk becomes easier to manage and resolve by breaking into small pieces and handle during its iteration. And besides that, it is more flexible in a way that it changes of software requirements or specifications are less costlier, not so expensive.
Okay, so I started to hear your voice when you first say, for example. So it's okay lah, because we already can read here. Because it has advantage which can be considered the best to apply the current software industry. Okay, yes, yes. Okay, so because incremental model can be considered a better version of the traditional waterfall model. Okay, so and we can take the advantage if you ask if you found this kind of questions, you can also take the advantages of incremental process that we have learned during our lecture, and then you explain it here. Okay, so for example, one of the advantages of incremental model is it can really useful when your stuff is not too too much lah, you don't have enough stuff. So mostly nowadays company they will prefer to um not really hire a lot of software engineer, because first, of course, because of the cost, and then the second, when they are like a case like sorry, this pandemic, when they are the case like this pandemic, they don't need to eliminate their staff because um okay, so actually even the company, even a lot of company, they also don't want to reduce their staff if possible, but usually it is something that cannot be avoided, especially if the economy of the company is on the stack. Okay, so that's why most of the company usually will prefer to have only small number of staff, but they can do a lot of things. Okay, so because of the cost mainly lah. Okay, so that's why incremental model is very practical for a lot of software company because of the number of the staff. Okay, so beside that, incremental model also can be planned to manage technical risks. Okay, so and then after that, it can be um, you can deliver a useful component or function in short time, and then um, most of the user will prefer this model because they can use the first version earlier, the first version of the software earlier. Okay, so yes, correctly, your answer is also correct. Beside whatever I said just now, the point that is given by Lim here, where they can minimize their risk, and then they can and then they can manage and resolve the breaking into small pieces. Okay, and then they can handle it during the iterations, and it is flexible. Okay, so I think this is not too hard to answer. Um, okay, so this kind of question, like I said just now, you can turn the advantages of incremental model, elaborate it, and then make it the answer for this. Okay, so yeah, so we proceed to the questions number 2, which is a little bit not hard lah. Usually, this is your level lah for degree, which is scenario questions. Okay, so Kelvin, awal-awal. Okay, so for these questions, Kelvin, beta Kelvin, um, I will ask you read letter. Okay, so you as the IT manager of Courseware Direct Selling Sendirian Berhad are required to develop an online system which will provide service for its distributor and customer. Among other services, the system should allow user to view product and promotion details, register as a distributor, make order payment, track order status, check on distributor point accumulated, and perform redemption based on point and title. The distributor and customer of this company basically come from all parts of Malaysia with different education background, level of computer knowledge, as well as preference of language. Currently, the IT department consists of 3 staff under your supervision, 1 system analyst and 2 programmers. So this could be a challenging project as it concerns a new area that your team has not ventured into before. So the requirement gathered were clear, could be modularized easily, and the top management requires that the new online system be completed within 3 months. Okay, so recommend with explanation and appropriate software process model to complete the project. Okay, justify your recommendation, and then you may state any relevant assumption to support your answer. Okay, so I can see Shak also already give his recommendation. Okay, so Russell also, you can copy paste your answer here, but later I will ask all of you to read lah. Okay, so three. There are three different. There are three different process here suggested here. Okay, but before we go into each of your answer, we will check the statement just now. Okay, so the point here, um, okay, so first point here, you see here only three staff under your supervision. First, so system analyst, and then you only have two programmer, and then meaning to say that you are lack of human resource. Okay, so another, this could be a challenging project as it is a new era. Okay, so your company, software company, never developed a software like this previously. Okay, so the requirement gathered, okay, so but the requirement gathered were clear and could be modularized easily. So I can see they are a keyword there already. Okay, so the top management requires that the new online system completed within 3 months. Okay, so 3 months, it's like with a lot of this function to develop a system that will provide for its distributor and customer. View product, promotion detail, register as distributor, make order payment, track order status. Okay, so three human resource within 3 months, and then you have to, and then you never have experience about that previously. But the good thing here is the requirement is clear and modularized easily. Okay, so based on all of the summary just now, so let's see, Kelvin. So Kelvin, you are choosing evolutionary software process model. But as you know, evolutionary software process model, there are two types, which is incremental and spiral. So which model actually, Kelvin?
Incremental.
Yeah, Kelvin, your voice is not really clear.
Incremental.
Again?
Incremental.
Incremental. Okay, your voice is clear now. Okay, so you choose incremental. Okay, so yes, continue.
Because because the stuff, there are not many staff available, only 4 people, and it is a new area, so they need multiple iteration, and the process only got 3 months to do. And the user requirements are already well known. The project scope well defined and can be modularized. Yeah, like that.
Okay, so yes, I agree with you. You also can use incremental. Okay, so incremental because one of the advantage of incremental is because of the number of the staff. And then since the requirement is already can be modularized easily, so that's why it is easier to be versions to be modularized, which is version 1, which is version 2, which is version 3. And then the project has 3 months. Okay, yes, so I think ngam lah, incremental model can be accepted. So, okay, good, Kelvin, because you have point out or highlight the uh, the highlight part in the statement. Okay, so we proceed with Shak. Okay, Shak. Oh, Shak still wants to do the waterfall model. Okay, so Shak.
Uh, because because the project already have the clear requirement and the system analysis and programmer already have the knowledge in the software. Yeah.
Is it? The system analyst and the programmer have the knowledge in the software. You mean the software here is how to code lah?
Yeah. I mean the code. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So actually, you have the point because it is said there. Um, the requirement is already clear. So I know that for the waterfall, it is the best if we know already the requirement clearly lah, right? That is the
Yes.
one of the advantage and the feature of the system that can be built using waterfall. But um, if you said that the system analyst and the two programmer, yes, they have the knowledge in software. They have knowledge in how to analyze the software and then how to maybe develop a software using specific programming language. But it is already said here, Shah, that this project is a new era that their company never have developed that kind of system previously. So for a programmer to be able to develop a software that is fast and with limited human resource, I think just the knowledge in coding or in analyze the requirement is not enough. Kesha, do you agree?
Yeah. Agree.
Yeah, because even though everyone in your team already know how to code, okay, you know, but or Pila, you know how to design a very good software, but because you don't have any history or any similar system from previously, so you may find new issue that you have never find previously. So it will take time for you maybe to do the research or to fix the newly found issue or process that you never find previously. Okay, so you only have three stuff. So it is where's the case lah at the apa tu tambah tambah menambahkan the problem. Okay, so waterfall is not really not a really suitable process model for this category, for this scenario. Okay, Shak, don't
Understand.
be don't be demotivated lah to answer later in the future. Ah.
Yeah. Understand.
Okay, so Russell, you choose RAD. Okay, so Russell, proceed. Yes, Russell. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, you just need to read your answer. Although I can read it here, but I still want to hear your voice.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
Yes.
Um, so I chose rapid application development model.
Mm-hmm.
RAD model is appropriate as the user requirements are gathered and clearly defined. Then the
Mm-hmm.
system can be modularized, and the system can be modularized easily. Additionally, there is high user involvement as it involves distributors and customers from all over Malaysia, and has a shorter development time of 3 months. Besides that, more productivity is accomplished with a total of 4 people in the IT department, and it is the most appropriate because even though it is a new area that the team is not ventured to, we can assume that the team utilizes existing other existing online systems.
Okay. Okay. I want to ask you because one of the feature of RAD is it will require a lot of team. So how do you explain that? We only have four staff, but we don't know actually you is as what right? Because it's only says here there is a system analyst and two programmer, but we don't know you. I mean, we don't know us. I mean, the one that supervise these three staff, right? So how do you explain that? RAD will, if we all know, if we read the advantage and disadvantage of RAD, it requires a lot of stuff to do each module each with one team, right? So how?
And I can't really explain.
Okay, so actually your answer here, right? It is relevant. All are relevant. And but only that issue lah that we can argue because we know that RAD will require a lot of stuff, and then as you say here there are a lot of module. Okay, you can see there are a module to register as a distributor, make order payment, track order status. Okay, so all of this should be more than uh, two module lah. And then if you have two programmer, so at most you only can divide the module within two module only because you only have two programmer. But okay, but before that, I want to ask who else that answered RAD too in this tutorial group? Is there anybody that also answer RAD? So this kind of question is really popular lah. So you will find this. I am sure confirm that this kind of question will be asked during your exam or test letter. Guess is there anybody? If no, I check your answer here. We check Daniel. Okay, so Daniel incremental. Alvin. Yes, incremental also. And then Noel. Let's check Noel. Incremental. Celine. We check Celine. Celine also RAD. Haha, I found Russell's partner. Okay, Celine, can you please speak? A bit conflict
Hello.
because yes.
Mm,
Yes. So can you read your answer? Why do you choose the RAD?
I will recommend rapid application model because the user requirement gathered for the new online system were clear and well known.
Mm-hmm.
Since RID model has an extremely short development cycle, it is important that the requirements are clear to be able to develop in a short time.
Mm-hmm.
Costs where direct selling sendirian berhad wants the online system to be able to complete in a short time, which is within 3 months. Therefore, the extremely short development cycle will be suitable in developing this new online system. RID model makes the system into modularized, which make it to be easy to implement for this online system because it can be easily modularized.
Okay. So Russell have similar opinion. I mean, Russell have someone that has similar opinion with him. And then before that, I will check other student. Can okay. So Celine also have made a relevant answer. Okay, so Lim also answer incremental. Ivan, for this kind of scenario, I will tell you later what is the suggested answer. Wow, Ivan also choose waterfall. So Shak have someone that have the same opinion lah. Okay, so I have checked all. Okay, so Russell said they are conflicting because Russell have found online. Another thing to note here is that rapid application development prefer having a single team without too many members. Okay, I will check in this book, my book, if it is saying the same or not. Because some of the things info we get from internet is not really can be trusted. RAT. You may think that we take a lot of time to discuss something like this, right? But no, actually, because um, when you in a development team letter, you should do the thinking more than you just spend your time a lot in development, but you didn't plan correctly. So the planning part should take a lot. Should It is normal to take a lot of time during the planning. So this time is considered we are having a planning for about choosing what model that is best for this system. Because it is really costly if you later didn't plan it correctly, and then you just develop, and then lastly, at the end of the project, you there are a lot of error or issues because of lack of planning. You okay? So my books also say it requires a staff human resource. Okay, so please share with us later, Russell, the internet resources that you have found. So just share it in our Google Classroom, Russell, because we need we also want another resources, just only not just only depending on the books lah. Okay, Russell. Okay, so you have made your point. It is, I mean, I didn't say that RAD wrong. Instead, actually, the suggested model is RAD. Okay? So even though all of you, most of you choosing incremental model, but the suggested answer here is RAD lah. Why? Because the questions here, it says that we can do any assumptions, right? Based on the scenario. Okay, so justify your recommendation. You may state any relevant assumption to support your answer. Okay, so you may state any relevant assumption to support your answer. Okay, so your assumption, but even though you can state any relevant assumption, but your assumption have must have its reason lah. The reason is should be from this statement. Okay, so the assumptions here, RAD is um, the most suitable software process model, because first, like all of you already noticed, that the requirement are all were clear, and then the system could be modularized easily. Okay, so this is, I think, even the incremental model have these two criteria lah. When it is clear and modularized, incremental also suitable. And then, but the assumption here, because it says here the top management require the system within 3 months. Okay, so based on that statement, the assumption here is the top management can increase the team member to form several teams to handle different module in parallel. Okay, so because there are statement in this that saying that the top management want the system completed within 3 months. Okay, so by this statement, we assume that the top management already have their cost and their money to provide the new team member to develop the other modules in parallel. Okay, so I can share this screen. I can share this answer to you all. Yeah, Kelvin. But I do agree with the incremental model too, because if we see here, um, all of the feature here. Okay, wait. I have a visitor. I'm so sorry. All. Okay, so these are the answer, the justifications. But if you all, for those who answering the incremental model, I I will accept your answer because the assumptions here, not everyone can do the same assumption like whatever this suggested answer can assume lah, right? Nobody knows that or nobody have the same assumption. Okay, so for me, incremental model also suitable because maybe because the suggested answer prefer RAD because RAD, one of the advantage of RAD is to develop the system in short time. But for incremental, there are no statement or apa tu? There are no. I think incremental model should it will develop the system with a longer time lah. No, I think we cannot assume they can extend the deadline. Okay, so if you want to assume they can extend the deadline, on what base? Okay, can you find any statement here in the scenario that they can extend the deadline? Yeah, so even though you can make assumption, but you need to have a valid statement that can support your assumptions. Okay, like here, it says that top management can increase the team member because it is already said here the top management requires the online system be completed within 3 months. So the top management, we assume that the top management surely know what is the cost for them to agree with that contract with the client. Of course, they will. For us lah, we can make assumption that the top management is really aware about that thing lah. Okay, so they will agree to add new team lah, maybe lah. Okay, but for me, I think incremental also suitable. It's just that it needs a lot of time, but um, in our slide Yeah, I think incremental model actually lose with the RAD just because of the time lah. Okay. And then we cannot assume that extend the deadline because we don't find any statement that can support our assumption here. But if you all can find that the client can extend the deadline, then okay lah. Okay, so now RAD win because RAD um can develop system in short time. So even though the only issue is because there are lack of team, but with the assumption the top management agree to complete it with 3 months, so with that weakness of their team, so they should be can able to hire another more team lah. Okay, so agree? Incremental fan? Incremental model
Okay.
fans. Okay. Oh. Okay, so questions number 3.
Oh yeah.
Yes, Noel. Yes, Noel? Okay.
So the distinct features are for spiral models,
Mm-hmm.
4 phases, which is planning, design, construct, and evaluation. And secondly, it's a software project repeatedly pass through these phases in iteration.
Okay.
And third is it emphasizes on risk analysis.
Okay. So, okay, your answer highlight the distinct feature, but you didn't answer the scenario. What kind of software that you can use? Spiral. What type of software?
When the functional requirement changes are frequent.
Okay, yes. But there's one point that you didn't say. Okay, so you see here the advantage and distinct feature of risk analysis of a spiral is risk analysis. So that is actually the advantage of risk analysis. So I sorry of the spiral. So we should choose a software that has that feature. Yeah. So that can use that feature. Okay, you already answered last. Scenario where spiral model is suitable to be adopted when the functional requirement changes are frequent, when the project is large, expensive, and complicated, and then project in which cost and risk analysis is important. Yeah. Okay. So the most important thing here, I think your answer here is project in which cost and risk analysis is important, meaning high risk software lah. Okay. So spiral model is really suitable for a high risk software, especially the high risk software is software that real don't have clear requirement and expensive. So yeah, correct. Thank you, Noel. Questions number 4. Okay, so there are 4 students will answer this. Before that, I will read the scenario first. Jessie Grocery is a mid-sized family business that operates since 30 years ago. The main operation in the grocery store, for example, stock in and stock out, are still performed manually. So to ease the daily operation, the owner of Jessie Grocery wants to computerize the stock in and stock out operation in the stores. In addition, he also wants to enable online ordering services to the client. Nevertheless, the owner does not have any background or knowledge in computerized online system. So if you are the project manager of a project of a software solution company, analyze the description above and suggest the most suitable process model to be used in the case study above. Justify your suggestion. You may state any assumption in supporting your justification. Okay, so here also, whenever you found a scenario question, you can state any assumption, but your assumptions must be based on a strong statement from the scenario. Like you have something statement that can support your assumptions. Okay, so we ask Daniel, Alvin, Celine, and Wong. Maybe you all have a different answer. But I think this questions number 4 is easier lah than the case study number 2. Okay. Okay, so I just noticed that all of these 4 student is the SF student. Except Ivan lah. I mean not answering questions number 4. But all of the student that answer questions number 4 is from the SF. Okay, so I will see first. If you all have the same answer, then I think, okay, so we don't need to really explain it or okay, so based on the description above, the most prototyping model. Okay, so Wong said prototyping model because the owner doesn't have any background and knowledge in the computerized and online system. We can develop. Okay, but Wong, prototyping, there are 2 types of prototyping. First, the evolutionary prototyping, and then the second is throwaway prototyping. Which prototyping actually you are referring to? Oh, okay. Prototyping model. Oh yeah. You didn't specify which prototyping model, right? Wong? Okay, Wong, yes. Oh, Elvin DIA kah? Oh, okay. Yeah, DIA. Sorry. Okay, so Wong, I'm still waiting for you. You choose which prototyping, throwaway or evolutionary. So I will read your friend's answer lah. Okay, so Daniel said evolutionary prototyping. I think is prototyping model. Okay, so Elvin also didn't specify what type of prototyping model, throwaway or evolutionary. So Elvin and Wong, I need you to specify which prototyping. Okay, so Celine. Yeah, so Celine, Wong, and Elvin, you all didn't specify which prototyping model, either throwaway or evolutionary. Daniel already answered evolutionary prototyping. Okay, so Wong, did you decide which prototyping model you want to choose? Throw away. Why? Elvin pula. Okay, Elvin choose throw away. Wong also choose throw away. How about Celine? Also throw away. Why? Can I ask all three of you why you choose the throw away instead of the evolutionary? You may state any assumptions, even though there are no clear requirement that it should be a throwaway or evolutionary here lah, but maybe based on your assumptions. Kelvin said Honor doesn't have any background or knowledge in computers, need understanding. Honor seems like herself also don't know what he wants. Okay, but using evolutionary prototyping also can uh, can support this, right, Alvin? Because evolutionary also can get user feedback, even though the user didn't have any background knowledge. Okay, so for evolutionary also it is same. So why throw away? Shooting. The objective of throw away protein is to validate the system requirement. Okay. The objective of the evolutionary, wait ah. The objective of the evolutionary, I think it is still the same, but I need to validate. Okay, so we see together lah. For the objective, the evolutionary also prototyping. Okay, so these are the which will evolve through number of versions to the final system. Okay, so you also have made your point, Celine. Okay. Um. Okay. I will tell lah. The suggested answer is only prototyping model. It didn't specify either evolutionary or a throwaway. But if you do the evolutionary prototyping, you can, you can shorten the time of development because the one that you already give, the first version of your software to your client is already something that already working. So the rest you only need to work to improve it lah. But for throwaway, after you throw all of the prototyping, then you need to rebuild again lah. But I think because of this scenario didn't specify any of statement that is more to evolutionary or more to throw away, so it's okay. I just want to test your apa tu, your opinion. Okay, so I didn't ask all of the 4 students to read one by one because it is a little bit time consuming. And then this scenario is not really difficult lah, like the above one. Okay, so do you all agree with the suggested answer, especially for the questions number 2 and 3? Who have argument? Because later, yeah, Noel?
No.
I cannot hear you clearly, Noel.
No argument.
Oh, okay. So agree lah, okay? Okay, so I repeat again, the answer for questions 4, it is didn't specify any specific prototype model. As long as you are choosing a prototype, then it is okay. Is anybody here answering other than prototype? And then I will need to ask if any of you here answer other than prototyping, because this this scenario is really clear that it you should choose prototyping. So if you have any other idea, then I want to hear lah, because on your opinion is based on what? Okay, so everybody is prototyping. I'm checking actually. Okay, so actually we already in our practical time, and then the practical for week 3, all of you can see here the assignment. The week 3 should be your software quality attribute. Okay, so here software quality attribute for week 3. You need to suggest and explain 5 critical software quality attributes for the new proposed system, and then justify your suggestions. You may make any relevant assumption to support your answer. Okay. So last time we haven't do this, right? Last practical, we only up until here, right? Last time I only asked all of you about your problem. And then I remember group 1, group 1 you want to polish your, or you want to redo, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so do you still choosing the attendance system
Yeah.
for the student, right?
No, for the worker.
Or worker?
Employee.
Or employee? Oh yeah, Noel group is like then the student also. I think the group 4. Wait, I check the group number first. Group list. Okay. Noel is the attendance system. Noel group. Attendance system. For some company, I remember Okay, here. Group 1, yes. Oh, so your company is still the same, Noel? Group 1, right? Wong. Wong is, wait. So your company is still the same lah, right, Noel? Group 1? Okay, so can you tell me what is the function that you already revised?
Means the re- uh,
What is the function? Function or
function.
module? Yeah. The problem lah, the problem.
Oh, first it's like take time.
Okay, it takes time. Okay, so after
Yeah.
that,
Oh yeah, the data is like exposed to us like since it's in written form, then it's vulnerable to natural disaster or theft.
oh, okay, data manually gathered. It is easily to be destroyed lah kan?
Uh, it's,
And then,
uh, fraud. The employee can write in wrong information inside the book. There's no data integrity.
okay, wrong information may be written. Okay, so finish. It's that all the problem that you can apa? You can found.
One more,
Okay, what else?
unreliable. The
Un-
human being like we tend to
unreliable what?
unreliable on, yeah, that's the only word. The explanation is the human being tend to make mistakes. So yeah, prone to human errors.
Like your voice is breaking up.
Uh, Human being
Uh-huh.
tend to make mistakes. Yeah,
Oh,
prone to human errors.
so I think this is the same with your point number 4 lah. Wrong information maybe written because it is human lah, human error kan, because of human error.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so okay, so I remember another group 2 lah, high school group. You want to refine your scope lah, if I remember last time. Kan Ivan? Ivan kata.
Ya, Miss.
Ah, okay, so are you clear already about your system, the problem,
Uh,
and then what do you want to solve?
kind of in a way, like because the research it can like they
Mm-hmm.
are missing a lot of things, so we decided to make like a student portal for them.
Oh, okay. So now student portal lah. Because last time I remember it only to record attendance system online, right? You said.
Yeah,
So now you don't want it to record for the only online purpose, but also when they are apa tu, study face to face letter lah, right?
yeah, something like that.
Okay, so what? Um, okay, so why I am asking you all of this kan? Because I want you all to think already based on the problem that you step in your in your part 1 2. you may already can think of the solution. Meaning to say that you already write all of your problem and then you can think what function in that system that can help to solve the problem that you already mentioned. Okay, so like what group one said, you said the manual way is attendance system. It takes time lah, and then the data can be easily destroyed when there are any catastrophic lah, right? And then after that, wrong information may be written because a human being error lah. Okay, so the data may be unreliable. Okay, so based on this problem, so you will have one attendance system or function, only attendance system or functions.
The can like when can we add like attendance system, and then there's also a report, like
Good report.
a report for the attendance, the exam results, and those
Mm,
things can,
can.
and check the and news, and let them check the news there also can,
Yes,
and
can.
also a
Okay.
way to store the result data.
Okay. So if Ivan Group, you can have attendance system and then report attendance and then a module to see their result, right, Kelvin?
Yeah.
Module for result. Okay, so only, and then what is the other two,
The other one
Kelvin?
is let them check let them see announcement like that.
Announcement. Okay. Okay, so yeah, I think high school ni you have enough module for every member in your group lah. Okay, because you have 4 module for one member. So later, when you do project planning, you can say that one module for one member, and then all of here pun all your task distribution can be easier. So that's why I think the Noel group, you need to larger your scope a little bit, because from what I see here, your system is only can be your problem only can be solved by attendance module, right? Is there
Oh,
any
so
other function that you want to add? Reporting, I think still can, but only two.
actually, I want to include the payroll. Yeah, but still thinking
Pardon? You want to include what?
the payroll module.
Payroll.
Yeah,
Then
calculate the salary based on the record.
okay, reporting and then payroll. Okay, so your group only have, you have 4. So any other? Because I think you like one more function.
I present first.
Pardon, Noel?
I present.
Or you present? Okay. Okay, so you
So this is the module.
staff module, administrative attendance module, report module. Okay. Yes, this is enough already. Okay. Ngam.
Also the payroll no need to include.
Yeah, I think this one is already enough lah. Staff module is keep record of the staff, meaning the staff themselves can update the module lah, right? They it enter their own details kah?
Yeah. Eh,
Okay, so
uh,
yeah.
Oh yeah, actually admin yeah. Yeah. But
Or
this one just
admin
to
or
uh eh yeah, still thinking lah. Yeah, still about it.
okay, so administration module, yes, correct. Even high school Nipun, you can have one administration module, but um, if no, then okay lah. So that your system is not too similar with group one lah. But administration module also can, because only the admin will. There are some setting that only admin can enter lah. Okay, so for example, the type of the employee, okay, either the employee is manager or cleaner, okay, all of that setting, when you want to enter in your system, should be entered by the administration or the clerk lah. All of the back end thing usually will be entered by the administrator. I mean the clerk, the administration staff. Attendance module, authenticate employee and record the classic. Okay lah. But the staff module, you plan, so you think about that lah. Either you want the staff enter their own data. If not, then actually if the staff didn't enter their own data, and then it should be done by the administration module, then the staff module is no longer needed lah.
Oh,
Right?
okay.
Because the one that key in the data for the client is already the administration, so that is actually already under administration. Okay, so staff can update their personal information. Okay lah, so if like that, which means the staff module will be entered and handled by the staff themselves. But I think not all data can be entered by the staff lah. Some of the important thing must be initialized by the administration first, and then after that baru can be updated by the staff, because usually it is like that lah. Okay, so group Daniel, Elvin, and Celine, inventory management system for Kanaki engineering. So I want you to tell me what module that do you plan you want to incorporate in your system?
For the module, we choose inventory module,
Yeah.
payment module, and supply module. Inventory module is we going to make it to track to keep track of inventory item. For payment module, we want to keep track for any related payment, like using credit card and cash. Supply module that we can record which supplier supply car part item. Yeah, that's all.
Kapak?
Car parts.
Car parts.
Sorry.
I thought kapak.
No.
Okay, so Kanaki engineering, it is inventory, supply, and payment. Kanaki engineering. Okay, so you already have 3 modules. Okay, so inventory is I remember Kanaki engineering is to sell car parts, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, Miss. Better than we using. Yeah. We're using payment. Payment we changed to customer module, which we can keep tracking payment for customer for customer record, like Elvin suggested. To record customer payment, which product items in the shop they have paid.
Okay. So you want to change the payment module into customer module where you can keep track the payment made by the customer lah, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So the supply is to keep track how many stock in from the supplier, right?
We
Or
keep
how?
we keep track supplier that provide, how to say, supply more like supply car parts product to the shop, to the shop, to the store.
Oh, you will keep track the supplier details and then what parts they already supplied to the Kanaki engineering lah. Is
Yeah.
that like that?
More like
Okay.
that.
Okay, so enough lah, enough. So all of your module that you have told me previously, you can still think about that, make it clear, don't make it too hard for you all. And then you still can make it clear because now we only in our week 3 where you can you should come out with your just quality attribute lah. Okay, so you still have time. So you think clearly, divide each of the module with your team member, and then each of the team member that have that module that assigned with the module, think clearly how the process in each of the module. Okay? Either you write it down or you put record for yourself lah, so that later when I ask you remember what that module should do lah. And for today, we still have about 25 minutes. So for the quality attribute of the project. Okay, so it asks 5 critical software quality attribute for your new proposed system. Okay, so we have learned about the software attribute in our chapter 1. In our chapter 1. Key challenge attribute, where is it? Software attribute. Okay, so this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here there are 5, a lot here. So you can choose 5 that has top priority. Which software attribute that you think the top 5 that you should include in your system? Okay, so the example, I will show you some example, but this is the example from the diploma. So your explanation letter should be better than this diploma student. I will show you the example, only one attribute, how she elaborating it based on the system that she want to develop. Okay, so the So I will only copy paste one example, which is yeah, this is not good lah. I will show in new. Okay. Okay. I will share again my screen. Okay, so this one example. Okay, so this student say that she wants the acceptability software attribute to be implemented in her proposed system. Her proposed system is like more or less similar with Kanaki engineering. It also have an inventory system for parts for any items inside the shop line. Okay, so it's she say that the system should allow the company worker to easily use the system and also compatible with the work they've been doing. Okay, so the system will be easy to use for the worker as they only need to accept the order and ensure that the items that a customer have ordered have been reached to the customer. Okay, so acceptability, you find the definition of it. I am not so sure. Okay, so this is the flexible CTO. Is there acceptability here? No. Okay, so yes, it is good because there are no acceptability here. Um, but you will, for you all, you will choose any attribute that is listed here, and then there are instruction, not definition of the each of the attribute. You read it, and then you understand it, how you can implement that attribute in your proposed system. Like the example here, the acceptability is the definition of it is the system should be acceptable by the user. Okay, so um, it doesn't what the it is no point for us to develop a system for the user if the system is not acceptable by the user. Okay, so acceptability here also refer to how the user easily use that system. Okay, so that's why the student talking about how easy the customer or the user use the system. Okay, so she says here the system will be easy to use for the worker because they only need to accept the order and ensure that the items that customer have ordered have been reached to the customer. Okay, so you try to think better explanation for each of the attribute or software attribute that you choose. Okay, any questions? For your
No.
mm. Okay, so you understand lah how, because you understand your future or your proposed system better than me, then you read the definition for each of the software quality attribute and then try to explain the quality attribute based on your system, meaning how you want your system apply the quality. Okay, so your definition or your explanation should be based on your proposed system. You just cannot give some general definition about that quality attribute. Okay, but explain it based on your system lah. Okay, so it depends on you how you give or how you distribute the tasks, because there are 5 software quality is that is asked by these questions, but you only at most have 4 members, right? So maybe the smartest one can explain two quality attribute. Not smartest one lah, because all of you are smart already, but the relevant, maybe one of you, okay, sorry, maybe each of the member in your team can find two software attribute, and then you combine, you see which is better lah, which has the better explanations. Okay, clear about how to do this part 1.3 software quality attribute? I will ask, okay, only Noel, okay. I will ask Lim. Okay. Pero okay. Lim, okay kah? Daniel, okay. Okay. Raise hand pun also okay lah. If you don't want to type raise hand feature, use that raise hand feature. Celine, how? Okay, good. Shark, yes. Thank you. Russell? Okay. Elvin? And Wong? Okay. Okay, so I think this is not too hard questions. So you can finish this week. Okay, so if you don't have any questions, I think we can dismiss, and then you all can do your this practical lah for this about 14 minutes. 14 minutes before 11. Or do you want
Miss,
me? Yes?
can go back to the tutorial again, Kak Miss. Got
Oh,
one
yes.
question. So the question two kan, the incremental also acceptable, right? Test marks comes. Oh, just the same as RAD.
The best actually RAD,
Oh,
I can say. Because why incremental kalah? Because incremental needs a lot of time. Kan?
yeah.
Because it only it is suitable for a smaller number of human resource. Actually, this scenario is also have smaller human resource, but the one that makes the incremental kalah, because we don't have any statement here that can assume our assumptions that this project can be postponed or can be extended the time, like what Kelvin have asked just now lah. But for the team member, which is not enough, we can assume that the top management are willing to hire more human resource, because they already agree for that system to be completed within 3 months. Okay, so usually when a top management agree to this type of agreement from the client, they usually know already lah that this system will need more than one extra human resource.
Oh, okay. So in
Yeah.
terms of marks, how? Like,
Mark.
yeah.
Okay, so it asks here, recommend usually with explanation. Usually, only recommend the name already have for about minimum 2 marks, usually 3 marks, only to state that what software process that you want to propose. Because you know why it has high marks? By just stating what questions, what process model that you propose, you prefer, is because the scenario is a little bit tricky. Okay, so by choosing a name for the software process it already can give you at least 2 marks. That is the minimal lah. It is not 1 mark. Okay, at least 2 marks. Usually three. And then your assumption or your justifications, since there are no number here provided, so usually it can give you maybe three for your explanation or justification. If in the question it didn't state how many reason you should specify. But for me, if I am the one that doing the questions, I will ask lah. Maybe I will ask, please explain two reason uh of your your chooser of your choice lah. Okay, but this question it didn't ask how many reason or point it wants, so we can assume it only wants one. Okay, so I also don't know how many marks for the explanation, but if gives, then we can assume lah. Okay, Noel?
Okay.
So in the exam letter, don't worry. Usually the examiner will state how many reason or how many point you need to elaborate lah. But this, because we in tutorial, then we can discuss. So you can state how many relevant assumptions or reasons you want to tell lah. So if you will give me two relevant assumptions or relevant reasons, then I can give you three for each reasons or point. Okay, so but if you only give me one line or one point, then I can give you only three lah. If you give me two, then three for each point, so meaning 6. Okay. Okay, so in short, the best is RAD. But for me, if I am the examiner, if you choose the incremental, I will still give mark because only one point that makes the incremental not suitable. But the rest of the scenario is also pointing to the incremental lah. Right? Yeah, can also use incremental. Okay, so any other questions?
Miss, regarding about the software quality attribute, Miss said that Miss said that we need each member need to find 2 attribute, right?
Yeah,
but the question is say that suggest and explain 5 critical software quality attribute for the new proposal system. Does it mean Miss say that we choose each member choose 2 and find which suitable for the new proposed system ka?
Yeah. Yeah. Each of the team member can suggest 2 and then you discuss among your team and choose 5 the best.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because why I suggested it like that, because you only have 4 members but the attribute is 5. So to be fair, each of the member can find 2 attribute and then later you all discuss and choose the best 5. Yeah, so Alvin also have three members, only have three members. So that's why that is only my suggestions lah. It is not compulsory for you to do that. As long as each of the group can give me five attribute, then it's okay. But that is only my suggestion. So like Alvin group, if you only have three member and then each of you found two, then you already have six, right? So when you discuss later, you just need to eliminate one attribute.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that is only my suggestions. For me, as long as each of the group can give me five attribute, then it is okay lah.
Okay, thanks, Miss.
Okay, so thank you for asking. Any other questions?
Miss can upload the answer.
For the question, the tutorial two?
Yeah.
Okay, later. Alvin, I want to ask about tutorial question 3, my answer. Wait, question 3 is this one. Highlight the distinct feature and suggest scenario where spiral model is suitable to be adopted. Okay, so this is about spiral model. Okay, wait, Goodwill Software Solution Company was received software developed requirement from government, system used by the center of the government, as it is not developed such large system for large group before government. Okay, since will used by various government level, they need to keep receive feedback from user. But system also will used by citizen for registration of their info into the system and government will generate report from it for their annual budget, population, annual usage. So you are suggesting this scenario lah for to use the spiral model. Is that Alvin? Ah, do you think your scenario here, your system here, have a high risk? Is a high risk system? My definition, technical aspect. You mean the high risk from the perspective of technical aspect? Okay, so but you still need to specify what is the high risk part here. But in your scenario, you didn't mention about the technical aspect. Okay, so what I want to say is spiral model is suitable for a software that is high risk. Okay, so high risk, the definition of high risk software is a software that is first expensive, two, a software that is uh, a software that really have frequent requirement changes. Yeah, because the main point for the spiral model to be used is because spiral model is suitable for high risk software. So you need to tell this what kind of software in your scenario. And then you need to tell that software in your scenario that you want to build is high risk software. Okay, so in your scenario here, I cannot see that this software is a high risk software because no argument about the Sorry guys, my connection is suddenly breaking up. Okay, so Alvin, okay? Can you hear my voice just now? Hello? Can you all hear my voice? Okay. Okay, so Alvin, okay kak? Or do you want me to explain more? Oh, just now didn't hear voice. Okay, I repeat kak. If you the question 3 asking about distinct feature of spiral model. Distinct feature here is a feature that only spiral model has it. The feature is not available in any other software process. Okay, so what makes spiral model special from the other software model, process model is spiral model have one feature which is high risk, meaning it is designed for high risk software. Okay, so high risk software, we can define high risk software as a software that first costly, second is it has very frequent changes from the user. There are no fixed requirement. There are, I mean, they are always changing their requirement. And then second, maybe complicated. So that is we can assume that it is high risk. Costly, don't forget, frequently change requirement, and then complicated. Okay, so that is definition of high risk. Okay, Alvin. So your scenario should tell that your system have that feature that I said just now lah, the costly, frequently change requirement, and complicated. But your government project that you propose here in your scenario, I didn't see that high risk part lah. Or can you point out which part is high risk here in your scenario? Okay. So later, all of the students also, if you creating some scenario, you have to tell your software is, like I said just now lah. If it is high risk software, then you need to tell what is the high risk part in your scenario. Okay, so any other questions? Okay, so Elvin said, question 2. Okay, you said you choose this. I didn't do much system. Like we have discussed previously lah, with Noel, with Calvin, and with all of you. Okay, so the best software process model for questions 2 should be RAD. But if you answer for incremental model, if I am the examiner, I will still give you marks lah. If the marks is 10, then I can give at, meaning 80% of the full mark I can give. Because all of the feature here, like small number of human resource, and then modularize and then clear requirement, it is all also pointing out to incremental advantages. But the only thing that makes incremental lose versus RAD is because this system need to be built in 3 months, which is actually quite short time. RAD also suitable for very well requirement, and then very clear requirement, and then a modularized system, and then but based on our slide, RAD suitable for if you have a lot team member, but there are assumption here that can support the can support that the company actually can hire more human resource, because there are statement here, the top management requires the online system to be completed within 3 months. Meaning to say that usually top management, when they agree with this kind of contract, they already know that they need to find or hire more human resource. Okay, Elvin. So in short, RAD is the best, but you choose incremental as you can give percent from the full. Okay. Any other questions? For the other student, if you don't have any questions, you can leave the session. Russell. Yeah, Russell. Okay. I will repeat again for the other student. If you don't have any questions, then you can leave this this Google Meet. We can dismiss.